afternoon. It's Tuesday, August 4. I'm Mai Rodriguez for your midday report. We'll be giving you the story shaping the nation at this hour. In the headlines, Alex Eala wins her first WTA singles title after defeating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the Mubadala DC Open. The Filipina tennis ace moves up her ranking to top 20. On day 12 of the impeachment trial, COA auditor Roderick Wamil says no documents were submitted to support the disbursement of confidential funds. However, the defense moves to strike out some of his statements. Senator Jinggoy Estrada appeals to the Sandiganbayan to allow him to post bail over plunder charges. And Lea Salonga shares another fangirl moment for V of Korean supergroup BTS. Alex Eala has done it. The Filipina tennis star has made history, capturing her first ever WTA Tour singles title after stunning world number 3 Jessica Pegula in the finals of the Mubadala DC Open. Zeus Valdez has the story.
Alex Eala has etched her name in Philippine sports history after rallying past world number 3 Jessica Pegula 4-6, 6-4, 6-0 to win the Mubadala DC Open in Washington. At just 21-year-old, Eala became the first Filipina in the Open era to capture a WTA Tour singles championship. The match took a dramatic turn after rain suspended play, with Pegula leading a set and 2-1 in the second. When play resumed, Eala completely shifted the momentum, winning the second set before dominating the decider with a stunning 6-0 finish. Her title run was one of the toughest of any WTA champion this season. Along the way, Eala defeated Olympic champion Zing Wen, defending champion Leylah Fernandez, second seed Elina Svitolina, four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, and finally top seed Jessica Pegula. The championship also came with the biggest payday of her career as Eala took home $250,000 or more than 15.4 billion pesos, along with a new career-high world ranking. Following her historic victory, an emotional Eala said the love and support she received from her family, team, friends, and Filipino fans gave her the strength to believe she had already won, regardless of the final result.
Before the final yesterday, actually, I got so many messages, sweet messages from my family and from my friends who are on tour or wherever else on the world. And, I thought to myself, I feel so much love. So standing here in the middle of all this love, my first chance at the title, knowing it won't be my last, and already having achieved this feat and this milestone for my career, I knew that whatever would have happened after this match, it would have already been a win for me.
Eala also thanked runner-up Jessica Pegula for other memorable battles before paying tribute to her family, coaches, and the Filipino community for standing by throughout her journey.
Thank you to all my supporters, especially the Filipino community here in DC and back home and wherever you are in the world. I feel all the love. Maraming salamat, mga kababayan. Maraming salamat.
With her first WTA 500 Tour title, a career-high ranking, and more than 15 million pesos in prize money, Alex Eala has delivered the greatest achievement in Philippine tennis history and announced her arrival as one of the sport's brightest young stars. Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Congratulatory messages pour in for Alex Eala after her historic WTA Tour level singles crown. In his Facebook post, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. says Eala, quote, continues to redefine what's possible for Philippine tennis and inspire countless young Filipinos to dream without limits. Rafa Nadal also congratulated Alex for all the hard work she put into the tournament. He says it's a well-deserved crown for Alex. Alex is a graduate of the Rafa Nadal Academy in Spain, where she trained for 5 years, starting at age 13. At the Senate, Senator Bam Aquino filed a resolution honoring Alex, who just moved up her ranking from world number 28 to a career-high world number 20 in the WTA rankings. The Filipino community gave all-out support to Alex Eala during her ups and downs in the tournament. Our U.S. correspondent Mary Estacion shares some of the reactions from the fans after Alex's historic win in the Mubadala DC Open.
The tennis world is witnessing something special. A player representing the Philippines breaking into the top 30 and capturing the attention of fans around the globe.
That's the reason why we're here, because we wanted to be part of Philippine sports history.
I have 3 daughters, so you can just imagine the support that we're trying to. I don't even know how I got emotional.
The overwhelming Filipino support at the tournament in Washington, D.C. underscores Alex Eala's rising profile and marquee appeal.
The Mubadala DC Open is the 5th largest tennis event in the United States.
The chairman of the tournament says there's been an 80% increase in ticket interest when Eala plays. It's being called the Eala effect.
The consistency of how she ascended is actually amazing, and I think she's the real deal.
So much grace and humility, so you couldn't be prouder for her.
But the Filipina sensation wasn't just drawing crowds, she was winning. The 21-year-old advanced to the final against world number 3, Jessica Pegula.
I'm really positive to the Jessica win today, like very positive.
The final was anything but typical. Rain pushed the scheduled noon start back nearly 3 hours Sunday.
We're here to stick with her, rain or shine, work her for her.
Play eventually began, but only part of the match was completed before nearly 6 more hours of weather delays forced spectators to wait some more.
We're doing our best. We keep clearing the court, and then it keeps raining. At some point, we may have to come back tomorrow.
Officials ended up calling it for the day. When the match resumed Monday, Eala had her back against the wall. Down a set, but leading in the second, Eala seized the opportunity. She ended up winning the second set before dominating the final set 6-0 to win the biggest title of her career. The excitement is far from over.
Thank you to all my supporters, especially the Filipino community. Wherever you are in the world, I feel all the love. Maraming salamat, mga kababayan.
With a career-defining win now under her belt, all eyes turn to the U.S. Open later this month, where Alex Eala will try to prove that the Eala effect is only just beginning.
We're proud of you, Alex!
Mary Estacion, Bilyonaryo News Channel, Washington, D.C.
On day 12 of the impeachment trial, COA Auditor Roderick Wamil continued his testimony on the disbursement of funds from the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education. The prosecution is still scrutinizing how the OVP and the DepEd spent some $612 million in confidential funds. Hannah T joins us live from the Senate. Hannah, anong latest?
Mai, the Department of Education under then Secretary Sara Duterte set out to prevent communist recruitment, curb drug abuse, stop illegal activities in schools, and conduct background investigations using its confidential funds. Those were among the targets listed in the DepEd's fiscal and financial plans for the first 3 quarters of 2023, during which the agency received 37.5 million pesos in confidential funds per quarter. But COA attorney Roderick Wamil testified that during the post-audit, the DepEd did not submit documents showing the results of those operations, including reports, list of cases, or other records to verify whether the tastes or stated objectives had been achieved. When asked whether the DepEd submitted documents to show it had prevented communist recruitment of teachers and students, eliminated illegal activities in schools, or carried out the stated background investigations, Wamil repeatedly answered they have not received any such document. The witness also testified that the plans did not indicate the base basis for the disbursement of the confidential funds. The defense later objected when House Private Prosecutor Attorney Lorna Kapunan asked the witness to explain the meaning of the items listed in the plan, saying only the DepEd could interpret them. Kapunan eventually withdrew the question. This is after Wamil also testified on the confidential funds received by the Office of the Vice President amounting to about 500 million. During Duterte's stint as DepEd chief, the total amount scrutinized under their confi funds is about 112.5 million. In total, the scrutiny on the confidential expenses of both agencies reached 612.5 million, leading to the article of impeachment on misuse of confidential funds now being tackled before the Senate Impeachment Court. Those are the latest on the day 12 of the impeachment trial of the VP. Back to you, Mai.
Hana, kahapon lumabas yung mga sinasabing fictitious names, no, or suspicious names like Mary Grace Piatos, Andy Lim, at marami pang iba. So ano ang na-establish from these names that were presented before the impeachment court? May na-hash out ba sila dito? May na-explore ba nila itong topic na ito?
Yes, Mai, katunayan, nasa about 11 names yung lumitaw na umano'y hindi pa maitukoy kung totoo bang mga individual ito. No? Although sinabi na rin ng House Prosecution na baka premature pa kung sabihin fictitious yung mga individual na nakita nga doon sa acknowledgement receipts na pumirma raw sa Office of the Vice President Confidential Funds. Ang na-establish so far, Mai, ay ang sabi ng COA, wala raw supporting documents itong mga pirmadong ARs na ito, kagaya nga nung kay Mary Grace Piatos, Renan Piatos, Patty Ting at Andy Lim. Kaya nagkaroon ng notice of disallowance kalaunan na hindi pa naman sa ngayon na didiscuss ng Senate Impeachment Court. At sa ngayon may naiwan o nakabinben itong usapan pagdating doon sa mga pangalan na yan, no, dahil ngayon nakatuon yung pansin ng Impeachment Court sa confidential funds na paggamit ng DepEd under the term of VP Sara. Back to you, Mai.
Hana, may isa pang witness, yung COA auditor tungkol dito sa mga confidential funds. Maipepresenta ba siya today? Kumusta na ba ang proceedings ngayon?
Mai, so far, yung trial kasi ay currently nakasuspend for lunchtime. At mamayang hapon, ine-expect natin na magkakaroon na ng cross-examination itong defense team naman ni VP Sara doon kay witness Attorney Roderick Wamil. Pagdating doon sa isa pang COA witness, aabangan natin kung matatapos itong cross pagdating kay Wamil at eventually ay kung maaari bang maipresenta rin isa pang testigo ngayong araw o di kaya naman tomorrow, which is the last day of the trial this week. Mai?
Thank you, Hana T, reporting live from the Senate. As expected, the defense countered some of the testimonies from COA Auditor Roderick Wamil. Dexter Ganibe is joining us live from the Senate. Dexter, go ahead.
May tutok na tutok ang depensa sa pagtestigo ni Roderick Wamil, yung pinakaunang testigo ng prosekusyon dito sa Article 1 o yung umano'y paglustay ng confidential fund ng OVP at ng DepEd para hindi lumabas o hindi lumagpas doon sa dapat na testimonya lamang na gagawin itong kanilang testigo. Sa pagpapatuloy ng pagtestigo ni Roderick Wamil sa impeachment court ngayong day 12 ng impeachment trial, kabilang sa mga natalakay ang isa sa mga accomplishment report nito sa isinagawang audit sa utilization ng confidential fund and intelligence fund ng OVP. Pero naghain ng objection itong si Attorney Michael Powa ng defense panel at pina-strike out sa record ng korte ang isa sa mga sagot ni Wamil sa tanong ng prosekusyon kaugnay ng naging findings sa paggamit ng confidential fund. Giit ni Attorney Powa, ang pagbabayad ng reward ay hindi paglabag sa Joint Circular 2015-01 na permado ng COA, DBM, DILG, National Defense at Government Commission for GOCC. Pero tinatalakay na raw sa sagot ni Wamil ang kung paano ito ginamit.
Meron din pong line item for the payment of reward for 12 million pesos, pero hindi po siya suportado ng any document evidencing.
Your Honor, objection. I beg the indulgence of the...
What is the objection of counsel?
Your Honor, I gave some leeway earlier to the witness, but we moved to strike out the witness, strike out the answer of the witness as far as the payment of reward is concerned. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan lang naman natin dito, on its face, kung merong mali sa utilization of confidential intelligence funds in terms of the accomplishment report. He is now going into the findings, which is not part and parcel of this form, which is the accomplishment report, Your Honor. So
Not yet part of it.
not yet. So what I'm saying is the payment of reward by itself is not a violation. Indicating the payment of reward here by itself is not a violation of the joint circular, Your Honor.
Because we are not yet, if at all, at the AOM level
Exactly,
and or notices. But kindly reform, counsel. Objection sustained.
Pinalagan din ng depensa ang pagtalakay na ng prosekusyon sa Audit Observation Memorandum para sa third quarter ng 2023 na cash advances at liquidation. Sabi ni Atty. Powa na natili lang si Wamil sa Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office o ICFAO ng Commission on Audit hanggang February ng 2024. Pero inilabas o inisyo ng ICFAO noong Agosto 2024 yung AOM para sa third quarter ng 2023. Kaya wala raw personal na knowledge o kaalaman itong si Wamil sa laman ng nasabing AOM. Pero giit ng prosekusyon na si Wamil pa rin yung gumawa ng nasabing draft. Kaya hinanap ngayon ng depensa kung nasaan yung draft na ito para doon na lang ibase ang pagtatanong at pagtestigo ni Wamil. Bagay na wala umanong kopya ang prosekusyon sa nasabing draft at wala silang balak na ipresenta ang draft bilang kanilang ebidensya. Kaya lalong giniit ni Atty. Powa na hindi dapat tanungin ng prosekusyon si Wamil sa naging audit observation memo para sa third quarter ng 2023 na siya namang sinang-ayungan ng impeachment court. Kanina, bago matapos yung direct examination ng prosecution kay Wamil, ay nag-object din itong si Attorney Michael Powa at pina-strike out sa record ng korte yung naging pahayag ni Attorney Lorna Kapunan ng prosecution na kanyang sagot doon sa kanyang naunang tanong kung paano nga ba i-describe yung mga pag-allocate ng confidential fund pero ginamit na hindi sakop doon sa joint circular at tinawag nga ito ni Attorney Kapunan na isang scam. Yung word na yon o yung sagot na yon ni Attorney Kapunan ang siyang pina-strike out ni Attorney Powa. At mamaya ay asahan natin sa pagbabalik ng proceedings ng impeachment trial ay magkakaroon na ng cross-examination itong depensa doon sa testigo ng prosecution. Mai?
Dexter, how is the defense countering criticism na dapat naman daw, ang sabi ng marami, wala naman talagang dapat na confidential funds ang DepEd o di kaya yung OVP kasi sa katunayan, ang sabi nga ng witness na si VP Sara lang ang may confidential funds dahil yung the past vice presidents and the past DepEd secretaries wala namang confidential funds.
Doon sa nauna nating katanungan dyan, para kay Attorney Michael Powa, ang sagot niya dyan, hindi na muna ididetalye kung ano yung kanilang magiging sagot dahil magiging bahagi umano ito ng kanyang cross-examination. At yan ang ating inaabangan ngayong hapon, kung matutuloy man ang cross-examination ngayong hapon dahil 1:18 na at maaring ilang oras na lang o wala pang isang oras siguro ang nalalabi na para dito sa pagpapatuloy ng impeachment trial o maaring bukas magtutuloy itong cross-examination. Yun ang ating inaabangan kung paano niya ika-counter itong napakalaking mga ebidensya na inilatag ngayon ng prosekusyon, partikular yung lumalabas na hindi nga nagastos sa tamang paraan o yung sinasabi ng prosekusyon na may mga items doon sa mga acknowledgement receipts na ipinaglaanan itong confidential fund na hindi naman saklaw nung joint circular ng COA. Mai.
Maraming salamat, Dexter Ganibe, live mula sa Senado. Former COA Commissioner Heidi Mendoza questioned the Office of the Vice President's reported use of confidential funds in just 11 days. Speaking on BNC's On Point, Mendoza said spending 125 million pesos in such a short period was technically impossible, explaining that confidential operations require planning, execution, and documentation. She adds that if the funds were not used within the prescribed period, they should have been returned, noting that reimbursement is not allowed under existing rules. The alleged misuse of confidential funds is one of the articles of impeachment filed against Vice President Sara Duterte.
Kaya nga sabi ko, you don't need an auditor to say that it is impossible. It's impossible to use that the entire allocation for the last quarter given only a number of days. And i-repeat ko ulit, para tayo ma-fake news, bawal ang reimbursement. So hindi natin pwedeng sabihin, siyempre may mga ginawa na sila and then dumating yung pera, hindi na. Ang pwede ko sigurong gawin, masabi dito, kung babalansihin natin, posible na meron ka nang napag-aralan na confidential activities na gano'n. Pero yun nga ang sabi ko, yung execution and implementation ng mga activity, hindi yan natatapos sa isang linggo.
The House prosecution team takes note of Vice President Sara Duterte's continued absence from her impeachment trial. May live report si Isaiah Mirafuentes mula sa Senado. Isaiah?
Yes, may ilang segundo pa lang nakalilipas at kare-resume lang ng impeachment trial matapos nga magkaroon ng almost an hour recess. However, may nasa ika-12 araw na nga tayo ng paglilitis laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Subalit hanggang sa ngayon ay hindi pa rin sumisipot sa impeachment court si VP Sara. Si House Prosecutor at Bicol Saro Representative Terry Redon hinahanap si VP Sara. Anya, kung nasaan man raw si VP Sara sa mundo, hiling niya na harapin ng bisi ang paglilitis at harapin ang katotohanan. Ayon pa kay Redon, base sa kanyang pagsasaliksik, aabot sa 8 milyon ang nagastos ng bisi sa 91 days niyang biyahe. Nagtataka ang mangbabatas kung saan nanggagaling ang pondo, gayong wala na mga nakadeklara na cash on hand at cash on bank sa kanyang salin. Samantala, kaugnay naman kay Mary Grace Piatos na umugong muli ang pangalan sa pagdinig kahapon, naniniwala si House Prosecutor at Manila Representative Joel Chua na hindi na siya kailangan pang ipresenta sa trial. May samantala, bago magsimula yung trial kanina, bago nga humarap si Attorney Lorna Capuna na siyang nagda-direct examine sa kasalukuyang testigo na kanilang iniharap. Nakausap ko mismo si Attorney Capuna at sinabi niya sa atin na ipapasabpina na raw niya si Mary Grace Piatos. Ang paliwanag sa atin ni Attorney Capuna na ipapadala daw nila ang sabpina sa Office of the Vice President. Ang aabangan na lang natin, Mai, kung kailan niya niya-anunsyo, either ngayong araw ba o bukas. Mai.
Isaiah, kasisimula pa lang ng talakayan sa confidential funds. Para ba sa prosecution, malinaw ba na nagkamali si VP Sara?
Yes, Mayor, ang sinasabi ng prosecution as of this time, na pangatlong witness pa nga lang yung nakaharap mula sa prosecution. Ang sinasabi nila sa atin, ang malinaw sa ngayon ay mali yung there's something wrong dun sa pagdideklara o pagdiliquidate kung saan ginamit itong confidential funds. Kung makikita nga natin kahapon, May, marami na namang mga pangalan ang mga lumabas. Kabilang na nga dyan yung Miko Harina, Mary Grace Piatos. At ayon mismo sa prosekusyon, nakausap ko rin kanina si House Trial Spokesperson Representative Adjong. Ang sabi niya, sa mga susunod na paglilitis, marami pa raw na mga pangalan ang lalabas. So ibig sabihin, May, ang sinasabi nila, hindi pa ngayon makikita kung may pagkakamali sa pondo, pero this time malinaw na may pagkakamali sa pag-liquidate ng pondo na nakita rin ng taong bayan na pirmado ni VP Sara. Mai.
Maraming salamat, Isaiah Mirafuentes, live mula sa Senado. Senator Jinggoy Estrada makes another appeal before the Sandiganbayan to allow him to post bail over his plunder charges. The plunder case stems from allegations that Estrada received 573 million pesos in kickbacks from anomalous flood control projects. Nasa linya si John Reyes Calata para sa detalye. John Reyes, go ahead.
May naghain ng motion for reconsideration ng kampo ni Senador Jinggoy Estrada para hilingin sa Sandiganbayan 5th Division na baliktarin ang desisyon nito na tumangging pagbigyan ng hirit na makapagpiyansa sa kasong plunder. Ang nasabing motion ay tugon sa resolusyon ng Korte noong July 24 na nagbasura sa motion to fix bail ni Estrada na inihain noong June 29. Sa naunang desisyon ng Korte, Sinabing ang karapatan sa piyansa ay nakasalalay sa pagtukoy kung hindi malakas ang ebidensya ng pagkakasala at kung ang akusado ay flight risk o may posibilidad na tumakas. Iginiit ng kampo ni Estrada na maaaring magtakda ang korte ng piyansa kahit wala pang formal na pagdinig sa lakas ng ebidensya kung mapapatunayan na ang akusado ay walang kapasidad na tumakas para makaiwas sa kaso. Ginamit nilang basihan ang kaso ni dating Senador Juan Ponce Enrile o Enrile versus Sandiganbayan kung saan pinayagan itong magpiyansa dahil hindi ito itinuturing na flight risk. Bilang patunay na hindi siya tatakas, ipinunto ni Estrada na siya ay incumbent senator na may terminong hanggang June 2028 at mayroon na siyang halos 40 taon sa public service. Gayon din ang pagpayag sa kanya sa mga nakaraang kasong plunder at graft na lumipad pa ibang bansa at palagi siyang bumabalik sa Pilipinas para harapin ang mga sakdal laban sa kanya. Kusa rin niya siyang sumuko sa mga otoridad nang malaman niyang may warrant of arrest laban sa kanya. Ayon kay Estrada, ang pagkakaloob sa kanya ng piyansa ay magbabalanse sa interes ng gobyerno na masiguro ang kanyang presensya sa korte at sa kanyang karapatan na maging malaya habang dinidinig ang kaso. Balik sa iyo, Mai.
Maraming salamat, John Riz Galata, nag-uulat. Up next, the Finance Department proposes measures to ease the tax burden of Filipinos. The details and more stories after the break. Stay tuned to Midday Report. Midday Report, Malacanang responds to Senator Amy Marcos's criticism of the Senate's performance, pointing to internal leadership changes and conflicts as factors affecting the chamber's work. Ivy Reyes joins us on the line for the details. Ivy, go ahead.
Yes, Mai, Malacanang hits the Senate minority bloc after presidential sister, and Senator Amy Marcos lamented the lackluster performance of the Senate of the Philippines. In a social media post, the senator said legislation is largely affected by the changes in leadership. But for Malacanang, it was the Senate coup that installed former Senator or Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano that started the changes in the Senate. The palace points to the shooting on May 13 that put the Philippines in international spotlight, as it was the first to ever happen in the history of the Senate. Malacanang also mentions the minority's boycott, where senators did not attend sessions or Senate sessions for a few days. The palace agrees, Mai, that setting aside personal grudges will prove effective, especially the ongoing rift between Senators Panfilo Ping Lacson and Cayetano. They also reminded public servants that what happened in the Senate is a stark reminder that leadership should not be led by personal interests. Meanwhile, the economic team and the executive secretary will join the Transportation Department today to discuss proposals for a fare hike and a higher fuel subsidy for public utility drivers from the current 10 peso subsidy to 20 pesos. The 10 peso aid is extended until the end of August from its previous deadline of August 15. At Mai, as transport strikes are set in the coming days, Malacanang called on transport groups like Manibela to choose to negotiate with the government instead of taking their calls to the streets. The palace stressed that protesting outside will do no benefit to the current issues, as the administration is very much willing to respond to calls. Right now, that's all the updates I have here from Malacanang. Mai.
So, Ivy, is Malacanang for or against the proposed fare hike?
Yes, Mai, the palace is open to this proposal, but any decision will be according to our economic team. But when asked if the government has any budget for this fare hike, the government said there is budget for this proposal, and as well as the subsidy from 10 pesos to 20 pesos. Mai.
Thank you, Ivy Reyes, reporting. Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong says there is no direct evidence linking former House Speaker Martin Romualdez to the multi-billion peso flood control scandal. Speaking on BNC's The Spokes, Magalong, who previously served as special advisor to the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICC, said Romualdez operated through multiple layers, making it difficult to directly tie him to the allegations. Romualdez was one of the focus of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s fifth State of the Nation address, where he said multiple cases against his cousin are now being prepared.
Pero knowing yung capacity ni Ombudsman Rimulya, most probably sinisigurado lang niya na tight yung case. Ang mahirap kasi doon sa kaso, lalo-lalo na doon sa kay former Speaker Romualdez, ang daming layers eh. Yun ang feedbacks na nakuha ko sa mga senators na nakausap ko during the hearing. At the same time, yung mga revelations din niya during the ICI. Unfortunately, I was not around ang ongoing inspection namin. So during the interview of the former speaker, I was not around. Pero makikita mo talaga na nagkakaroon ng mga layers, ang daming layers, para talagang makikita mo na ang hirap i-connect sa kanya. Ganon kagaling yung kanyang sistema.
As the government looks to ease the tax burden on millions of Filipinos, it is also weighing new revenue measures to offset the expected losses. Janina Vela is on the line for the details. Janina, go ahead.
Following President Bongbong Marcos's call to raise the income tax exemption threshold, the Department of Finance presented its tax reform proposal to the House Committee on Ways and Means. According to DOF Secretary Carlo Adriano, the proposal will grant tax relief to at least 3.13 million taxpayers. There were two prongs in this tax relief solution: minimum corporate income tax and personal income tax. Yusek Adriano warned that if micro and small businesses are exempted from MCIT, their calculations put revenue loss at 5.96 billion in 2027. On the side of income tax, PBBM called for raising the tax-exempt threshold from 250,000 to 350,000 pesos. The DOF proposal notes a 61 billion peso revenue loss in 2027. Yusek Adriano presented solutions for this revenue loss: excise tax updates on sweetened beverages, e-cigarettes, tobacco devices, alcohol products, and automobiles, as well as an imposition of excise tax on plastic products. The proposal targets a 14 peso per liter excise tax increase on sweetened beverages and a 28 peso increase for HFCS beverages. For cigarettes and tobacco products, they are looking at an increase across all products, but most notably an increase from a tax rate of 37.62 to 72.93 for heated tobacco products. We also might be seeing an imposition of a tax rate of 150 on chargers for reusable cigarettes, and distilled alcohol products might experience a 112% increase on specific tax in 2027. The DOF proposed an estimated impact of 150 pesos per kilogram excise tax on plastic bags and an additional bracket for cars valued over 8 million pesos. Mai?
Janina, did lawmakers raise any concerns over the proposal?
Yes, Mai, actually, there were several questions on the effect of the increased and imposed tax proposals. For example, Congressman Ryan Recto wondered if the near 100% increased excise tax rate and 7 billion revenue impact on alcohol products could be lowered to a 50% increase instead, as drinking alcohol in provincial celebrations is something he himself experiences in his district in Lipa City. Congressman Eala San Fernando also questioned that since some Filipinos consume single-use sachets because they cannot afford to buy in bulk, why is the solution to raise taxes on single-use products, he asked? Is it not counterproductive to promoting sustainability, since Filipinos might buy smaller but more frequently instead? Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Janina Vela, reporting from the House of Representatives. The Energy Regulatory Commission should be held accountable for alleged overcharges passed on by distribution utilities, including Meralco. That's according to the group United Filipino Consumers and Commuters. On BNC's memo, the group's president, RJ Hapeliana, said they have filed a complaint with the Office of the Ombudsman seeking an investigation into what they call questionable ERC decisions. Hapeliana says the complaint cites a Supreme Court ruling that limits the allowable earnings of distribution utilities to 12%. He says consumers may have been charged beyond this.
Pwedeng ma-audit ng Commission on Audit ang libro ng mga
public utilities,
kumpanya na ito na dapat magserbisyo sa atin na hindi ginagawa ng Energy Regulatory Commission. Yun po ang dahilan kung bakit kami dumulog sa ombudsman. Pero sinasabi natin ay kinakailangan ipatupad ng tama ng ERC ang komputasyon. Irregardless kung yan ay galing sa generation charges, transmission charge o distribution charge or other charges, dapat meron itong 12% cap na dapat gawin ng Energy Regulatory Commission na sinabi mismo ng Korte Suprema na dapat po itong mapatupad.
The ERC has rejected the claim, saying no law imposes a 12% cap on the allowable rate of return for distribution utilities. In a statement, the Commission said it respects the legal process and is prepared to respond to the complaint. Coming up next, an outbreak of a foodborne parasite in the U.S. has now turned deadly, with health officials reporting the first recorded deaths. That and more news around the world, plus the latest in sports when Midday Report returns. You're back on Midday Report. The government should reveal its strategy to get out of debt. That call coming from the Freedom from Debt Coalition. On BNC's at the forefront, the group's president, Dr. Rene Ofreneo, said the Marcos administration has so far failed to keep its promise to bring down the country's debt to GDP ratio.
Ang tanong natin, ano ba yung overall development strategy ng gobyerno to get out of this debt mess? And then, ikalwa, nakikita ba ng gobyerno na kung magpapatuloy itong debt, pero wala namang grow, baka maulit yung crisis of the 1980s.
He adds the country's interest payments on its debt is almost equal to the budget allotment for the education sector, and this is not allowed. The country's national debt is now more than 19 trillion pesos.
Ang interest lang po, halos magwa 1 trillion na. Double sa gastos natin sa health. Ang ating pong health allocation sa budget ay almost 450 billion. Pero dito sa interest, 900 billion.
Oo nga.
Mabigat to. Malapit na pumantay sa education. And under the Constitution, hindi dapat lumampas ang sa budget ng education and debt service.
Efforts to address the country's housing backlog get a boost as Megawide advances its Cavite project. Let's get more details from Che Sulit. Che, go ahead.
Mai Megawide property development arm has completed the structural framework of the first residential tower of its government-backed housing project in Imus, Cavite. PH1 World Developers marked the topping off of Tower 1 of Avesta Residences on August 4. The project is being developed in partnership with the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development under the expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino or 4PH program. Tower 1 is the first of 5 planned residential buildings and will accommodate beneficiaries selected through a unit draw conducted in December 2025. PH1 World Developers is the real estate arm of Megawide Construction Corporation. The development uses precast concrete components, which contributed to shortened construction time and improved efficiency. Qualified buyers may acquire units through Pag-ibig Fund housing loans. Each unit is worth 1.8 million pesos, and buyers may settle their payments at 7,000 pesos per month. Avesta Residences is PH1's world's developer's first project under the expanded 4PH program. The company is also developing similar projects in Dasmariñas and Bacoor in Cavite, as well as in Camarin, Caloocan. The project forms part of the government's public-private efforts to help address the country's estimated 6.5 million unit housing backlog. And that's the latest from my end. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Chesulit, reporting. Iran is in talks with Oman, not the United States, over a temporary arrangement to ensure safe shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Discussions will focus on navigation through the key waterway, with Iran blaming U.S. hostilities for the strait's closure.
There will be no substantial change in the situation in the Strait of Hormuz as long as the United States continues its malicious actions, its naval blockade, its military aggression against Iran and Iran's interests, and all the crimes it has committed during this period. Therefore, the focus of negotiations with Oman will focus on navigation through the Strait, while the relevant issues between Iran and the U.S. should be discussed in a later stage to see how the situation will develop.
The Iranian Foreign Ministry also denied reports of U.S.-Iran negotiations, adding it has no plans to receive foreign delegations or send teams abroad in the coming days. This comes after President Donald Trump claimed talks were ongoing and even giving Iran a final chance to reach a deal.
I think we're going to maybe get something, but I want to give them every last chance before decapitation. Very tough to do what we have planned, still planned. We'll see what happens.
In Russia, a drone attack at the Black Sea resort of Gelendzhik left 7 people dead, including 3 children. Video shows what appears to be a drone slamming into a busy beach area in what Russia said was a deliberate Ukrainian attack on civilians. Authorities say around 40 people were injured, with some taken to hospital in serious condition. Ukraine has not commented on the incident, but has previously denied targeting civilians. Russia and Ukraine have carried out attacks deep into each other's territories in an ongoing war. Michigan health officials confirmed the first 2 deaths linked to a nationwide cyclospora outbreak. It's a parasitic infection that can spread through contaminated food or water and cause severe diarrhea. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported nearly 7,000 confirmed cases across 45 states. Officials say the 2 deaths involve people with underlying health conditions. The outbreak has been linked to contaminated lettuce from Mexico, prompting recalls and menu changes by some food companies.
This is concerning because it took a really long time for us to try to identify where the source was. And on top of that, when you look back in time, in 2025, there was a change in the actual regulation of cyclosporiasis and tracking and tracing this specific parasite. And it was changed from being a mandatory tracking and tracing program to voluntary for states. And I think that is also contributing to the fact that this outbreak was so massive.
The legendary Williams sisters are reuniting on the court after 4 years. The pair received a wild card for the Cincinnati Open, marking their return to doubles action for the first time since the 2022 U.S. Open. Last month, the pair withdrew from the Wimbledon doubles draw as Serena dealt with a knee injury. Venus will also compete in the Cincinnati singles event after receiving a wild card. Serena and Venus have won 14 major doubles titles and 3 Olympic gold medals together. Converge looks to bounce back after its hot start in the PBA Governor's Cup turned into a 3-game losing streak. Zeus Valdez tells us more.
Converge hot start to the PBA Governor's Cup has given way to growing concerns after the Fiver Xers suffered third straight loss, this time a 105-99 defeat to NLEX. After opening the conference with 3 consecutive wins, Converge has now dropped games to TNT, San Miguel, and NLEX as the level of competitions continued to rise. In an interview on BNC's The Scorecard, basketball analyst Jay Mercado said the Fiver Xers' early success came against the lighter teams in their bracket before the heavyweight began to expose their weaknesses.
The first 3 games that they played were against lightweights, the lighter teams in their bracket. They defeated Titan Ultra by 31 points. They won by a squeaker against Terra Firma by 2, and then they defeated Macau Black Pandas by 25. The problems began when they started facing the heavyweights. They lost to Talk and Tex, they lost to San Miguel, and then just the other day they lost to NLEX.
Mercado said the 3-game skid has revealed deeper issues than just the quality of opposition. He believes Converge has struggled to contain teams with multiple offensive weapons, while its own execution has also become less consistent on the offensive end. The analyst added that the Fiver Xers' challenges now extend to both sides of the floor as they search for their early conference form. Despite the recent losses, Mercado believes Converge still has one of the strongest local rosters in the PBA. He cited the frontcourt of Justin Arana, Balti Baltazar, Calvin Abueva, and Justin Policarpio, along with the backcourt of Alex Stockton, Juan Gomez De Leano, and Mikey Williams as a core that few teams can match. Mercado said the same depth can also create an offensive challenge because so many players are capable of scoring.
Nate, I think the problem though is that there's only one ball. So pagdating sa mahirap kasi I don't even think that import is the first option as far as offense is concerned. So that's a sign that the onus obviously will fall on the coach and the coaching staff. How they will be able to come up with a better system from both ends of the court to remain competitive. They just can't afford to beat the bottom 3 teams.
Converge will look to end its 3-game losing streak when the Fiver Xers return to action against Meralco on Wednesday in the PBA Governor's Cup. Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Tropical Depression Luis has weakened into a low-pressure area, but another LPA is also being monitored. This was last spotted near La Union. We should expect bouts of rains across Luzon, though Pag-asa says these 2 low-pressure areas are unlikely to develop into a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. We're seeing the resurgence of the southwest monsoon or habagat this week. This should add to the rainfall across most of Luzon and western Visayas. Now, checking the rainfall forecast, mostly cloudy in Luzon with rains getting heavy over parts of Ilocos, the Cordillera region, Cagayan Valley, and central Luzon. A lot of rain as well for Pangasinan and Zambales. The rest of the region, including Metro Manila, Calabarzon, and Mindoro, should also see bouts of showers and thunderstorms. A bit calmer in the Visayas, a mix of sun and clouds with light rains and isolated thunderstorms over Marinduque, Antique, and Negros. Now, farther south, we're seeing a break from the rains for a lot of areas. We just see occasional rains for northern Mindanao like Zamboanga del Norte, Bukidnon, and Agusan del Norte. Far to the east of the country, we're also watching Typhoon Dolphin. Most models show this is headed to eastern China or southern Japan. Pag-asa says it's unlikely to enter the Philippine area of responsibility, but Dolphin is expected to enhance the habagat and bring rains to parts of the Visayas and Mindanao in the coming days. And that's how skies are shaping up. Do check Pag-asa's rainfall advisories in your location. Broadway icon Lea Salonga might just be the luckiest Filipino army. Lea gave fans major second-hand excitement after sharing an Instagram video of V looking straight into her camera during the BTS concert at MetLife Stadium. She uploaded the clip with a caption, "Thanks for looking into my camera. You truly are special." But the fangirl moment didn't end there. V also hit the like button on Lea's post. Lea previously attended the group's concert in Busan, South Korea, where fans praised her for patiently lining up with everyone else despite being an international star herself. The acclaimed singer has long been a proud member of the BTS Army. Earlier this year, BTS kicked off their biggest world tour yet, with 3 Manila shows scheduled for March 2027. Heart Evangelista is no longer playing to please. That's the powerful headline of Heart's cover story for Harper's Bazaar, Singapore's August issue. Seated confidently in a director's chair, the fashion icon served effortless glamour in a striking red dress paired with printed heels. Other photos from the spread showcase Heart rocking chic denim looks. In the interview, Heart opened up about realizing she can't please everyone and why she's chosen to create her own path instead. She shared, quote, "I'm like water. No matter how small of a stream I become, I'll keep flowing until I find the river where I can run free." Heart also made history as Harper's Bazaar Singapore's first ever guest editor in 2025. And that's the Midday Report. I'm Mai Rodriguez. I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. Stay informed and stay safe.